This is the vacuum waste of the comrades. Pour into soil, add some water and mix. He has already grown potatoes on Mars. Because while Mark was on the mission, not careful, being neglected by teammates on Mars, food was only enough to hold out for 400 days. The next Mars reconnaissance was 4 years later. That was his only chance to return to Earth. So he built a potato plant in the space warehouse. But another condition of cultivation is needing large amounts of water. Luckily, there was extra hydrazine on the base. Hydrogen gas is obtained by separating hydrazine fuel. It is possible to obtain large amounts of water. Unfortunately, he is just a botanist. After many trials and calculations, finally, a drop of water appeared in the tent. On the 54th day, the potato sprouted. See the Earth in the distance. Finally, Mark had hope. The food problem has been resolved. What is important now is how to contact Earth. My teammates definitely thought I was dead, but now on Earth. NASA held up for Mark, a very solemn funeral. Day 79, Mark got the first batch of potatoes. Big ones are for eating, small ones are for planting. Looking at the computer, Mark suddenly remembered, in 1997, NASA launched the Pathfinder spacecraft to Mars. There must be a communication device up there. Mark immediately sat on the Mars rover. Go to the position of Pathfinder. His Mars movements now has been transmitted to Earth via satellite. Staff on duty see the continuous movement of the Mars rover. Assuming that Mark is not dead yet, the curator relied on Mark's direction. Understand his intentions. Immediately run to the Pathfinder's Earth-connected end. Try to get in touch with Mark. On this side, Mark also successfully reached Pathfinder and pull it back to base. Through continuous repair and improvement, finally Mark was able to contact the Earth. But this spaceship in 1997 only still images can be transmitted. Communication was delayed for 32 minutes. Under the guidance of a calculation expert, Pathfinder's communication system. It is based on the programming change that continuous communication is set. NASA decided to provide more food for Mark. Let him persevere to the next Mars scouting mission. We can go home together, but with such a distant distance. It also took 868 days to deliver food. Luckily, Mark's potatoes can sustain life for 912 days. Everything has been prepared. The story of Mark's return to Earth was within reach, but the next incident destroyed everything. He was awarded the title the hardest to rescue Hollywood. From Saving Private Ryan to Interstellar, he played the rescued person 8 times. According to statistics, the cost incurred to rescue him reached at $900 billion. This time he was left on Mars again. For survival, he takes the waste his teammates leave. Make fertilizer to grow potatoes. Luckily, there is still a harvest. That day, because the tent was too old, suddenly lost pressure inside. The whole potato tent exploded. All potatoes have been frozen. When cleaning up this mess, Mark just had to hope for the Earth's food. Now on Earth, the food missile has taken off, but because it's in the middle of a great compression test, the rocket hasn't been flying for long, has been detonated. The extra food couldn't arrive in time either. Mark has only the way to die. He has already started to write a will, and at this moment China took action. After hearing the news, Chinese Aviation Agency decided to abandon the Sun God plan. Get the rockets on hand, bring up food for Mark. Together they complete the Mars reconnaissance mission. But even so, the food Mark had right now was also hard to hold. Time for the extra food to arrive. At this moment, a physical genius give a perfect solution. To teammate Mark's spaceship. Cancel plan to return to Earth. Rotate around the Earth once to speed up. By the way, take the food. Finally use the so-called gravity assist, attractive support that I don't understand, to fly back to Mars. This can come faster. Mark will make use of the launcher to fly to space linked with teammate ships. Although the plan was perfect, but also increased risk for teammates. NASA does not completely agree. But when Mark's teammates knew the plan, there was no hesitation. Instantly change the route themselves. Because they have to save their comrades. Chinese rockets have been able to smoothly fly into space. The comrades also received this portion of the food. But through calculation, Mark's launcher was unable to reach its intended height. The only workaround is remove everything you don't need. Lightly reduce the weight of the device. But things can be removed. Surprised Mark. He's planning to take off the launcher for all sorts of things. Because a spaceship driver will come pick him up. They need to link together in space. But this launcher is too heavy. Cannot fly to the expected altitude. Mark covered the top of the device with a canvas. He's going to sit on this train. Fly into space. The comrades' ships were close to meeting altitude. This side, Mark also smoothly flew. The huge impact directly broke his ribs. The device launched slightly, so the speed was also extremely fast. 12G acceleration. Makes him comatose. At this time, members of NASA on Earth is also extremely worried. But they cannot help. Because the distance is too far away. Everything happened with Mark. As for the Earth, it happened 12 minutes ago. This whole pairing process takes only 12 minutes. The two sides reach the estimated heights. But current relative velocity is 42 meters per second, 151 kilometers per hour. At this rate, pairing is not possible. There is something the captain has thought of a way. She decided to detonate an airlock. Take advantage of the explosion's thrust to slow down. With a wave of great impact, they have successfully reduced their relative speed down to 12 meters per second, 43 kilometers per hour. The captain went outside to meet Mark. But the length of the cable is limited. There is still a certain distance between them. Mark just woke up. Do an extremely unexpected action. Taking advantage of the leaked gas makes the machine push itself up. Like Iron Man that flies towards the captain. He overcame many difficulties, alone living on Mars as far as 400 million kilometers. After 549 days of that hardship, finally saved. This set of Robinson on a deserted island Mars version retains quite the original image of Mars. To describe an honest way, the detailed life of astronaut in the cabin. The film has the absolute support of NASA. In the script, there is content of the 50 pages as provided by NASA, and the Pathfinder spacecraft that Mark used to communicate with the Earth is completely real. It was brought to Mars in 1997 by NASA, but the special part of this movie isn't just that. A simple story, not as deep and big as Interstellar. There is no responsibility to save humanity. For Mark, he just needs to save himself. Was successful already.